China's most advanced aircraft carrier, the Fujian, is undergoing an 8th sea trial, said to be its most intensive yet. Reports say the ship's 5th-generation J-35 stealth fighters that are fitted for catapult launch have also carried out tests and flights.
Right now, somewhere on the open ocean, a floating city carrying 5,000 people and 70 combat aircraft is moving at 30 knots, and most of the world has no idea where it is. These are aircraft carriers, not just ships, sovereign territory. Each one costs more than the GDP of some nations, and they are the single most powerful projection of military force ever created by humankind. But here's what most people don't realize. A new carrier arms race is reshaping the world right now. Nations are building these titans faster than at any time since World War II, and the technology inside them is leaping into the future. Join us as we journey across the globe to uncover the secrets behind the world's newest and most powerful aircraft carriers, from rising powers building their first to the undisputed king that costs $13 billion. Our journey begins in the Indian Ocean. At the heart of India's fleet is the INS Vikramaditya, a name meaning valor comparable to the sun, and its origin story is extraordinary. This carrier was once the Soviet vessel Baku, left to rust after the USSR collapsed. India saw potential. In a monumental refurbishment completed in 2013, the ship was reborn. Stretching over 930 feet and displacing 45,000 tons, the old hybrid cruiser was stripped to its bones and rebuilt into a pure aircraft carrier. Over 70% of its systems are brand new. It now launches MiG-29K fighters from an iconic ski jump ramp using the S-Tow-Bar system. Short takeoff but arrested recovery. But buying and rebuilding a carrier is one thing. Building your own is another entirely. Only a handful of nations on Earth have ever done it. India just joined that club. The INS Vikrant, meaning courageous, is India's first indigenously designed and built aircraft carrier, commissioned in 2022. Constructed by Cochin Shipyard, using domestically produced steel, this 45,000-ton vessel carries up to 36 aircraft and is powered by 4 General Electric gas turbines, giving it a range of nearly 9,000 miles. The Vikrant doesn't just represent power. It represents a nation proving it can build the most complex machine in modern warfare from the keel up. Now, turn east to China, where a naval expansion without modern precedent is underway. It started with the Liaoning, another reborn Soviet hull commissioned in 2012. At 65,000 tons, it served primarily as China's training platform, a classroom for mastering the lethal art of carrier operations. Then came the Shandong in 2019, China's first domestically built carrier, larger at 70,000 tons, with an optimized flight deck and improved radar systems. But China's real statement arrived in 2022 with the Fujian. This is not an evolution, it's a revolution. The Fujian is China's first flat-deck, SATA-bar carrier. And here's what makes it extraordinary. It doesn't use the decades-old steam catapult technology that still equips most American carriers. Instead, it uses an electromagnetic launch system, similar in concept to the one on America's newest supercarrier, but independently developed by China. This means heavier aircraft, including stealth fighters and early warning planes, launched faster and more efficiently. At over 80,000 tons, the Fujian is the largest non-American carrier ever built. Let that sink in. Europe is taking a different approach, prioritizing flexibility and technological edge over sheer size. France's Charles de Gaulle, commissioned in 2001, remains the only nuclear-powered carrier ever built outside the United States. That nuclear power gives it virtually unlimited range. At 42,000 tons, it's smaller than the giants of the Pacific, but its catapult system launches the Rafale M, one of the most capable fighter jets on the planet. When ISIS threatened the Middle East, it was the Charles de Gaulle that France sent to strike, launching combat sorties within hours of arrival. Across the Channel, Britain has re-entered the game with 2 new behemoths, HMS Queen Elizabeth and HMS Prince of Wales. At 65,000 tons each, they are the largest warships in Royal Navy history. Their most revolutionary feature is a twin-island superstructure, one island for ship navigation.
Across the world, European powers are forging their own path, focusing on flexibility and advanced technology. The flagship of the French Navy, the Charles de Gaulle, is a true outlier. Commissioned in 2001, it remains the only nuclear-powered aircraft carrier ever built outside of the United States. This gives it virtually unlimited range, a strategic advantage few nations possess. While smaller than its American counterparts at 42,000 tons, its catapult system allows it to operate the high-performance Rafale M fighter jet, making it one of the most potent carriers in the world. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom has re-established itself as a premier carrier power with two new giants, HMS Queen Elizabeth and HMS Prince of Wales. At 70,000 tons each, these are the largest warships ever built for the Royal Navy. Their most striking feature is a revolutionary twin-island design. One island manages ship navigation, the other controls the frenetic pace of air operations, providing redundancy and incredible efficiency. Instead of catapults, they are designed for SACS, JAPL, short takeoff and vertical landing, aircraft, specifically the F-35B Lightning II stealth fighter. This design choice gives them immense operational flexibility. Not to be outdone, Italy's flagship, the Cavour, showcases the European emphasis on multi-role capability. This 30,000-ton vessel is not just a light aircraft carrier for F-35Bs, it's also an amphibious assault ship, capable of deploying Marines, battle tanks, and serving as a floating hospital for disaster relief. The Cavour is a master of versatility, a naval asset for any scenario. Beyond the major powers, other nations are using carriers to redefine their strategic posture. Russia's sole aircraft carrier, the Admiral Kuznetsov, has a troubled history. A heavy aircraft-carrying cruiser by designation, this 55,000-ton vessel has been plagued by mechanical failures and accidents, including a devastating fire and a dry dock collapse. Currently undergoing a lengthy and uncertain modernization, its story is a cautionary tale of ambition meeting harsh operational realities. In the Pacific, Japan has made a quiet but profound strategic shift with the JS Izumo and its sister ship, the JS Kaga. Officially classified as multi-purpose operation destroyers, these 27,000-ton vessels were built to carry helicopters, but they are currently being converted to operate F-35B stealth fighters. This transformation effectively gives Japan its first aircraft carriers since World War II, a significant development in one of the world's most contested regions. Further west, Egypt now operates the largest carriers in Africa, the ENS Gamal Abdel Nasser and its sister ship. These are French-built Mistral-class amphibious assault ships, originally intended for Russia before the 2014 annexation of Crimea. Capable of carrying helicopters, troops, and landing craft, they have made Egypt a dominant naval force in the Mediterranean and Red Sea. But perhaps the most futuristic vision comes from Turkey, with its flagship, the TCG Anadolu. This 27,000-ton vessel is the world's first carrier designed specifically to operate a large wing of unmanned aerial vehicles, or drones. It can deploy dozens of advanced Turkish-made combat drones, pioneering a new form of naval warfare where risk to pilots is eliminated. The Anadolu is a glimpse into the future of air power at sea. While nations around the world innovate and expand, one navy continues to operate on a scale all its own. The United States Navy's supercarriers remain the undisputed kings of the ocean. For nearly 50 years, the Nimitz class has been the gold standard. These nuclear-powered leviathans are over 1,000 feet long and displace more than 100,000 tons. Ships like the USS Nimitz, USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, and USS Theodore Roosevelt are floating cities, each carrying nearly 90 aircraft and 5,000 personnel. Their nuclear reactors allow them to operate for over 20 years without refueling, giving them unparalleled global reach. The 10th and final ship of the class, the USS George H.W. Bush, incorporated key design upgrades that served as a bridge to the next generation. These carriers have been the backbone of American power projection for decades. But the future has already arrived. The USS Gerald R. Ford is the most advanced, most powerful, and most expensive warship ever built. The lead ship of her class, she represents a quantum leap in naval engineering. Her two new-generation nuclear reactors produce nearly 3 times the electrical power of a Nimitz-class carrier. This power fuels her revolutionary technologies. Instead of steam, she uses the electromagnetic aircraft launch system EMALS, a powerful magnetic accelerator that launches jets more smoothly and rapidly. Her advanced arresting gear provides safer, more controlled landings. These systems, combined with a redesigned flight deck and advanced automation, allow the Ford to generate 30% more sorties, more flights, more firepower than any carrier before it. It is the pinnacle of naval engineering, designed to dominate the seas for the next 50 years. From reborn Soviet hulls to revolutionary drone platforms and the unmatched might of American supercarriers, these titans of the sea are more than just weapons of war. They are reflections of a nation's identity, its technological prowess, and its vision for the future. But as technology marches on, new questions arise. In an age of hypersonic missiles and cyber warfare, can these massive billion-dollar symbols of power adapt to survive? Or will they, like the battleships they once replaced, become magnificent relics of a bygone era? The answers will be forged in the shipyards and on the oceans of tomorrow, in the unending contest for control of the seas.